Squirrels. Squirrels and more squirrels. You guys might remember that we had an appointment scheduled with Tesla Mobile Service for today, to sometime between 2:30 and 4:30.
Yep.
And that I was considering whether or not to keep it. I decided to keep it. And right at 2:20, we got a message from the tech that's coming today saying he's around the corner doing paperwork and will be here at 2:45. Very pleased, just reporting that on time and prompt Tesla service.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. So the noise, it's not as loud as it was, or it's gone, or it's less often, or it's
right.
Since Sunday. But I thought it would probably be a good idea to ask him to go for a ride with me, which I think we were going to do anyway.
Yeah.
And listen and hear what he hears, and probably take that wheel off and see if we see where something was rubbing, or see if there's still something caught up in there, or if there's some sort of a mechanical part failure, or
yeah,
I don't know. Just thought it would be a good idea to follow through on it, because you know, noises that come and go, they usually aren't like really gone.
Yeah, well, the suspension has always had
noise,
squeaks and creaks and stuff, and I think that's a common complaint from Tesla people. So,
ex-people.
Yeah, and so you know, maybe he knows a trick or something that can be done to help quiet that down. I mean, so it just doesn't creak. I mean, it's not bad creak. It doesn't sound ooh, but it's just, you know.
I just need reassurance at this point. And I think part of the thing too is that the electric car is so quiet. You do hear stuff that you don't hear with the other cars. But I want my car to sound like a luxury electric car when I'm out driving in the Walmart parking lot, and not like
a 56 Ford or something.
Exactly, exactly. So that's where we're going with this today.
Yeah. So I was going to ask about, is there any lubing procedure for the bushings or something like that? I have some PTFE non-grease attracting lube, non-dust attracting. In other words, it's dry lube. I didn't know if that was recommended. We haven't done anything, so like I said, I'm expecting, the guy's always been very open with us, and a wealth of information, so I'm going to hopefully be able to glean something from him on what we might be able to do about this squeaking and stuff like that.
I don't think we covered it on the channel, but some other Tesla owners have now mentioned it, and so I think we will too. We have a $5,500 credit on our account.
Oh, a Powerwall, yeah.
Because we Tesla electric Powerwall, I'm not sure the right word there, they're not in our area.
Right.
So we can't get a Powerwall, and I think it's not news to anyone that it's been a little hard. There's Rick now.
Yeah.
To get a Powerwall. So we're hoping to apply that money that's on our account toward the service.
Yeah.
It's either toward a new car or service.
That's right. Credit, Tesla
so we'll
credit.
see how that works, and that's what we're hoping to do with today's visit, since we are over 50K.
Right.
Hey. Well, it varies throughout the year, right? Well, I don't know. It's pretty hot. It's pretty hot out here. Hey, it's good to see you again. So here's the scoop. Don and I went to, where did we go that day I got out of the car that night in the driveway? We went to Mount Airy. We drove to Mount Airy and Pilot Mountain.
Beautiful spot.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like you were, just totally. And I think it was then, it might have been a few days before, but I think Don was driving that day. And then like the next time I got in the car, I was like, oh my God, every time I make a right turn, there's this loud, I want to say rubbing sound coming from the front right fender. And
creaking sound. A rubbing versus a...
Well, I think I started saying rubbing after I sent a snap to Kyle, and Kyle said it sounds like something's rubbing. And then I was like, you know, I do think that's the right adjective to describe it.
And mobile technician Kyle you're talking about.
No, I'm talking about Kyle out of Spec Motoring Kyle.
Used to be with Tesla.
Yeah, used to be, yes.
Okay.
Has the Model 3 now, had the Model S, yeah. So And Ben, I think I was just checking in with both of them. Hey guys, you know, it sounds funny. And then also if you would steer right and steer left, side to side, of really serious, the same sort of a noise. Like if you did a donut, it would just creak, 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 but not left. And then Sunday, right here on the driveway, I was headed to town for my normal Sunday drive around, and maybe on this little divot here or this lip. Anyway, I went down the driveway and all of a sudden this really loud pop. Like, what did I hit? Or did I run, is there a tree limb down I didn't see and I just ran over it? Because that's happened before. Like stuff comes down all the time on our driveway.
For sure. And you can hear everything in that car.
Yeah, exactly.
No matter what.
And so, but I didn't see anything, and then it stopped making most of the noise. So I started talking, oh God, should I cancel the appointment because I can't quite recreate it? But it's still making some side to side squeaking, and I thought, well, I'm just nervous about it now after hearing that not good sound. And Don, yeah, he says the X has always been loud and he didn't hear it sounding too different to him, I guess, right?
Yeah,
but
I never actually heard the sound that she's saying, but then like I said, I don't drive.
It's not the brake sound. You know the brakes make noise. When I back out of the garage, it's the loudest the car ever is. So you'll just have to go drive with me. I'm gonna back Ruby out. You'll need to move, bud. Come on, sweetie, come on. I'm sorry. Your safety comes first. Come on. Good boy, good boy. Yeah, I know you're hot. Go in the shade over on this side. I'm trying to think of where's the place with the most, closest place with the most uneven surface.
Well, the Country Cupboard gas station right up here has a horrible parking lot.
Yes, it's true. The potholes.
Especially if you go through the first part, go around the side and around back, there's a very uneven
So that
speed
would
bump
probably, you're right, because I noticed it some under speed bumps.
Back is really bad. Unfortunately, it'll be on the left. But you can lap it however you like. Oh, yeah. I have a really, really good idea what that is. Oh yeah.
You've heard this before?
Mm-hmm.
So what's wrong?
It is, I would say, if I had to classify it as being a dried bushing.
Okay.
So you can imagine a cylindrical, it's about the size of this, it has a bolt going through it. It's part of your suspension. You have 4 lower links, 2 on each side. They're called forward and aft links.
See, that's the brakes, but it's always made
yeah,
that noise.
I would say almost every Tesla is doing that. Just due to their...
Do you feel you've heard enough? I don't think I can make it any louder than that
No,
now.
I definitely, we got it nailed for sure.
Okay.
So post-road test, we verified that the right side was making a noise. With that noise, it was definitely cosmetic. Definitely does not seem to be safety related.
Safety, yeah, I never thought it was. I was never concerned about the safety of the car because, you know, it's just that creaky sound. You know, it never sounded bad. I mean, it just sounded, that just doesn't, you know, I wish it would make that noise sound.
Right. And they have 2 lower links down there, fore and aft link, or known as a caster camber link.
Yeah.
And they're big bushings.
Yeah.
And they have the potential to get dry over time and can make that type of noise. So I think that's where we're at.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's not something mobile would fix in the field.
No, definitely
But you would diagnose it in the field. So it was good to wait for you to come.
And if that is a situation where you do need to go in the field and they don't have those parts, all I have to do is jump on the laptop, say, hey guys, this is what I think it is. They can order those parts, and that way when you go in, it's a
they're ready for us. Sure. Instead of diagnosing and then come back another day to the service center. So yeah, that's good. I think that's
Same
good.
day kind of pickup scenario.
Yeah.
They're definitely looking for a 24-hour turnaround on most everything that they're doing now. So it's definitely become more efficient.
So, you know, Tesla's service is evolving over time, and now, you know, the thing is, you schedule your service on the app. Don't be afraid to do that. It's going to ask you some questions, give you a choice to pick some available times. It's also going to give you a place where you get to describe the problem. Obviously, they can do a better job of making sure you've selected the right type of problem if you spend the time to put some, you know, several sentences there, that type of thing. I did get a text message after I scheduled asking me a few more questions about my problem after they read my description, just to make sure that when nice folks like Rick come out, they've got what they need to help you. And then, you know, in certain cases, if they need to, they'll still send you on to the service center, which if we decide to go through with our repair will be what will happen. But make sure to do your best to fill it out, because then, you know, Tesla can do their best to make sure they're prepared to help you when they get to your house.
You said it best.
Okay. Well, it was good to see Rick again. He's the mobile service guy that's been out to our house a few times before, and he's just a great guy. We chatted for a few minutes about this, that, and the other, and really enjoyed that. And he answered a couple questions that we had. Don had a question about the brakes, and he got down, and him and Don looked at him, and everything is good. And he answered Don's questions, you know, just appreciated that. For now, we're not going to schedule the service to get the bushing replaced, because as Rick said, it's not a safety concern, it's just an irritating noise, and right now it's not as bad as it was. Maybe if it was gonna get as bad as it was, we would go ahead and schedule it. Maybe we'll wait for when we get tires replaced. You know, it's one of those things where we can always call and say we want it scheduled now that we know what it is. So, not currently scheduling the appointment though. I think Don's gonna be excited about his burger. So Don and I are gonna go for a drive around Fuquay.
Yep.
Want to play Pokemon Go. If I can talk him into ice cream, I will. And you know, mobile service was here today, and it just worked out that I didn't go out in the afternoon to run errands or do anything today, which was fine.
Yeah.
So we're going out now, and it's cooler now, because boy, it was not so hot today temperature wise, but the humidity was like 80%. You walk outside, you were sweating. So anyway, we put on 2019.24.1 last night, and this has the improvements to the sketchpad, and color saturation. You can fill an area, I think, and you can do multiple I don't like what I just did, and it'll remember. So okay, that's cool. And yeah, still looking for the nice cute little girl picture, but oh no, we can't have that anymore. So is this where I should try to draw my cat that I put on the I'm trying to think. Okay, I want a white background. How do I make the whole background be white? I want the whole background to be white. Can't I do that? Yeah.
Or maybe clear? There we go.
And clear if you really want to get, yes, I'm sure. But can I, like, go away. Can't I? Stop laughing. You could come over here and do it too.
I'm not the artist in the family.
So how high can you go on the font? That's fairly large. So really I can't just tell the whole thing to be white. I can't. So I don't know what color saturation means. Somebody that's really an artist is going to have to show me. But no, hey, Donnie. Stop. You can draw your own picture later. So the little cat head. Oh, but I left it really big. I want really tiny now. Artists we are not. I didn't know. The best thing I thought that this was for before was leaving yourself a note, or leaving a note for your sweetie. That's what I kind of thought it was. Yeah, my cat eyes leave a bit to be desired. Basically any day of the week. I can't draw. I can't draw it in the whole cat sideways instead of her head being caught. But you know, anyway, you get the idea. So some artist now is going to draw the bestest picture, sketchpad picture ever.
Well, you can't have a cat that doesn't have green eyes.
Okay. You go, Donnie. Just... Yeah, and I did sort of forget the whiskers. Oh well. I want an Oreo cookie blizzard, but I'd like mint ice cream if that's okay.
I'm sorry, it's an Oreo cookie blizzard and you want a twist ice cream?
Mint.
Mint? So you want a mint Oreo?
Yes, please.
Right. What size is that? A medium also?
Yes.
Alright, one medium mint
So
Oreo.
Don and I are back in Ruby, which means we've picked back up where we left off on this podcast we were listening to the other day. That's often the case, but it works for us. And Martin Lee here on EV News Daily, he is, with his wonderful British accent, talking about women and do they drive EVs or are they interested in EVs? And I think it's a good discussion. I'm not offended in any way by this discussion. I might be more motivated to continue to work even harder to get women to talk their husbands into their next car being an EV. This may have done that, but it's really an interesting discussion. Is that Carmel, Cannonball, Thunderball, whatever it was? Is that good, Donnie?
Very good. Highly recommended.
So I finished listening to what Martin had to say, and he admits that it was a scary subject to kind of bring up, but one that he felt needed to be talked about. And I guess instead of trying to figure out how many men and how many women are proponents of EVs, maybe we should just ask ourselves the question, or the continued question are, how can we get more people interested? And if we want to ask the question of, if a woman's not interested, in what way might we engage her to become more interested? I think that would be a fair question, for me, I never liked having to go over to the Honda dealership and sit there and wait on it. I'm like, oh God, is it 3 months or 4,000? You know how fast I put miles on the car? Imagine how many times a year I had to go over to the Honda place and wait for them to change the oil in the van. And then, it's supposed to be an express oil service and you're in and you're out, and they tried. I mean, I'm not knocking my specific dealer or whatever, but going and having to wait on the oil change. I know Michelle, not only does she has to take her van to do the oil, but her husband's a busy executive, so when he needs the oil changed in his car, he swaps cars with Michelle and tells her to take his car and get the oil handled. I don't miss that at all. So maybe people just can't quite grasp I don't need to take time out of my busy life to go sit wherever and get my oil changed. But that ranks right up there with me as a reason that, EVs are better. And look at Tesla today. I had a question about my car. Mobile service came to my house, or they would have come to my workplace. They came where it was convenient for me and have to go to them. So, granted, some things will still end up at the shop, but like Rick was saying today, they'll have the parts ordered. They'll have a game plan for what they're going to do when you get there. There won't be any waiting. They'll have transportation for you if your car's got to be there for a while. So it's still better than showing up and getting it diagnosed. And I mean, I had that happen at the Honda place. So we're sorry, but we'll have to order a part and you'll have to come back another day. What do you mean I have to come back another day? I've already been sitting here 3 hours while you figured out what was wrong. So telling people that their busy schedule won't be impacted by their car as much, I think, is one route. Then how many times you been in nice clothes, or it's been pouring down rain outside, or nasty cold, or you get out and you put gas in your car and you spill gas on you? I mean, I've had, even though it's supposed to cut off, I've gotten distracted, and when it's went to cut off, gas has spilled out all over the side of my car. So not only did it smell bad and get on my hands, and I'm smelling it down the road while I'm driving, but then I've got to go home and clean off the side of the car where the gas went. So it's very frustrating. So there's none of that smelling gas for I mean, we've all done it right in a nice car. We've all gotten gas on our hands at some point or another and then gotten in the car and had to smell the gas for a while. That'll never happen again if you have an EV, never. Now, you could say, well, sometimes the weather, you got to get out and supercharge. I hear you. I hear you. But the gasoline thing is like, it's always at the almost every day ever I drive, I don't have to worry about a fill up while I'm driving. That's my real point, right? I get up in the morning, I got enough juice to go the whole day, it charges while I sleep, I plug in my garage, we're good. So I never have to worry about getting out in any weather, never have to worry about smelling anything on my hands. Those are just two things I could think of really quick. Can you think of anything else, Donnie, that I didn't say? That was another like a big thing we can like get women or really anybody that doesn't realize the value add. I mean, you could appeal to women about a better, cleaner environment for their kids, right? I mean, or, you know, dads too, but I'm just saying this whole conversation started out with talking women into it. And I want to say that, you know, I'm part of the Tesla Divas on Facebook group. So maybe maybe I'm swayed a little bit by the fact that I'm listening to so many comments from women all day long about their EV more than men, because I'm part of that group. They like schooling the boys at the stop sign and stoplights when they take off. You know, oh, this guy in his Honda Civic, he came up next to me. You ought to hear the stories. I mean, really, these girls, they like to school. They are all into it. And, you know, we do get some questions from some new women that come on board. They really want to ask other women questions. They've had a bad experience possibly on Facebook in the regular Model 3 group or the Model X group by asking a question. Sometimes people out there aren't kind. They aren't even kind to other guys. So they like the Divas group so that they can ask questions of another woman where they feel a little more comfortable. So the more of us that get comfortable with the car and answering questions, the better, right? That we can make ourselves available to other women to talk to. I think sometimes we don't want to ask a guy, right? We want to ask another woman. I know anyone's welcome to approach me at any time with the questions that they had. Did you think of something now?
Oh, I think it's great. You can sit in the car, eat your ice cream with the air conditioner on without the engine running.
Right. Well, all those times that moms have to wait in the carpool line, get in line for, or at a sporting event with their kid, or any of the other reasons we might wait with our kids, that's right. You get to keep the climate on, whether you're hot or cold in the winter or warm in the summer, you get to keep the climate on. Those people next to you, you know, when I had the van and we wanted to keep the climate running for a while, I always felt guilty about burning the gas, both from a cost perspective and from an environmental perspective, as well as worrying about, well, how long is it really safe? You know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. How long can is it safe to really leave the vehicle running? Well, you never have that worry in the EV either. And oh, by the way, you can keep your food more fresh, because in the summer when you go shopping, you can keep the climate on, and when you get out on these hot days, your food isn't going to get as hot as quick. You know, because I come 30 minutes out of Cary with my food. So I think I think maybe us women can get together and talk about what kind of outreach or what kind of things, marketing materials or YouTube kind of things could we do to inspire other women to, you know, be willing to give an EV a chance.